Okay, welcome. It's good to have everybody here on Friday. I need to make my welcomes I should do something like this so that when I'm editing the video or something, I can find that spot better because it takes me forever to figure out where we started and where we ended. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing on there. There's so many things that you should do to make things look nice or cut out things that, man, I don't know how to do any of that. So it's a big thing if it even just gets up there. So I'm pretty proud of myself just for being able to edit it, period. Do nothing fancy and get it on there. So I apologize to any of those who know what they're doing, would be able to fix all the things. You're welcome to contact me and offer your services. But I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, I hope everyone's doing well. I wonder what you're doing. It's Friday, middle of May. Are you involved in, do you do kind of, I don't know, things that are anticipating summer? Are there things you're doing as winter is over, spring is, for us, we just went right from winter into summer pretty much. We had a tiny little bit of a hint of spring and then flew into summer. So my air conditioning kicked on at 9:30 a.m. this morning. So that's exciting. How about you? Are there things you do as you're transitioning into summer? What things are you doing? What's your family doing? Emily, it's good to have you here this morning too. Or are there just things that you're thinking about? Hi, Audrey. Good to see you. What is going on in your home? What's going on in your head? What things have you been doing and liking? Are you having, does it slow down a little bit for you, or do you start picking up? Melanie?
So my family was supposed to be in Yosemite this week.
Oh.
We got ready and we left on Sunday. And when we got there, we were told that we had to leave on Monday morning because it's warmed up so much that the snow is melting so much faster. And so there were worries of flooding. So our week-long trip got cut to one night.
Oh.
Still really nice to we got up in the morning and went and looked at Yosemite Falls, which was humongous. We've always gone in the fall to Yosemite, and in the past when we've taken the kids, it was trickling like a quarter of a cup an hour. So it was a huge difference this year, which was really fun.
And that's so beautiful anyway, that place, that the falls are so pretty.
And there's like 10 new waterfalls that we saw this year that aren't normally there, just coming into the park.
Just because of all the volume of water and melting snow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
nice
going to be crazy all over.
Short, it was still, we were still able to enjoy it and try to pack a punch in that one day.
Oh, I'm so sorry it got cut short, but at least you got to be up there for a day and see the beauties. That's almost harder though, just to see, this is where we were going to be for a whole week.
Yeah.
Now we're going home.
We usually go in the fall too. We saw flowers in a bunch of the trees that we'd never seen before. I didn't even realize that there were flowering trees there. So that was fun.
I think it's so rewarding to go to a place, the same place at different times of the year and just see how it changes. Because you're right, we don't even think about it. This is how we know that place is in whatever season we go. And so to go in a different season, it would be really fun. That's neat. I love that. Well, I'm glad you could see the beauty in that, even though it was cut short. Anybody else? Any other thoughts, things you're thinking about or doing or wondering about?
This is kind of the very end of the busy season for us. We have baseball and football and lead up to piano recital and all of these fun things. So this has been kind of a tradition for us that it all kind of ends at the same time when we go out to family dinner and pick somewhere fun to go. And so the kids are all excited because tonight's the piano recital. And then we have tomorrow's the last baseball game. All these things come to an end all at the same time. And it's just kind of like, all right. And we've been working on our yard so that we're ready to just camp out in the backyard for a few months and just hang out. And so it's kind of fun. It's like this very clear transition period of like one thing to the next. It's fun.
I love it. And I love your backyard, how it's shaping up. It's going to look so amazing. Oh, your garden
I'm
bed.
excited and nervous at the same time. I'm so nervous. I'm going to put all this work and, stuff into making it look so pretty. And then I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to gardening. So I'm nervous. But I know it'll, like, some things will work and some things won't. And so I don't know. I've like hyped it way up in my head that I've gotten all nervous about it. I don't even know what to buy. I don't know what to plant, but it'll be fun. It's a whole learning thing and we're all excited about it. The whole family's been in on it. So it's fun.
That's the best part, is that they really have been. They've all been involved and excited about it. So I think that's great. And it is a learning process. You just try stuff and it fails, and then you try more stuff and it fails, and then you try more stuff, and every once in a while something works and you get so excited and it's so amazing, and then you start figuring stuff out. I guess that's what I'm hoping the path is anyway. I'm still looking for all the successes, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. But we learned so much by trying something and having it not work out really exactly the way we thought, and then there's so many lessons there. And then we get so excited about the occasional things that go well, or something that just happens to pop up and be a good thing. Obviously now I'm talking about all kinds of things, not just gardening, but it's so nice when something pops up and you have a little success that you did not anticipate. You didn't think it was going to come to fruition. I love those kinds of things. Those are the things that sometimes are hard to remember, hard to notice. I think those are kind of the things I'm talking about when I talk about, at the end of the day, look back on your day and maybe get a little help from heaven to be able to see those moments. I think, yeah, those are golden. And sometimes we're so busy that we kind of rush past them and don't catch them necessarily. But those are the things that I'm surprised about, that, for example, my kids bring up. And some of their best memories are these little tiny things that I didn't realize in the moment, it had such an impact. So that's kind of fun too. Okay. So how many of you have had a chance to watch the new video about Bellam at home? That's brand new, just the last couple days. Yeah, Melanie.
I missed the announcement. Was that in both the mentoring networks or the Mighty Networks and the Facebook group?
Yes. Yeah, it's in both. It's in both. Yeah, and Melissa just watched it. Michelle, were you starting to unmute? I know, it's so hard.
Yes. Okay, so where do I go to watch it?
So either in the Facebook group of the Well-Educated Heart or in the Mighty Network. And okay, if you don't have access there, just let me know. But you do, don't you? Are you?
I should. I'm really, I call myself a technotard.
Oh. Yeah, just have a hard time with the technology. I can send it to you if you don't find it. But on Facebook, there's a Well-Educated Heart group, and it was posted in there. And if you went through Catch the Vision, all 6 sections, and joined the Mighty Network, it's in there as well. So it's really good. And I will let Lindsay talk for just a minute about it, because Lindsay was very inspired by it. Mary watched it too. Okay, good.
I was just texting it to Michelle.
Oh, perfect.
I was like, I'll just text it to her. Yeah, I was just telling Lori how excited I was. And I think it's like, because I'm always so skeptical in my mind, I always think I don't need something, or I don't know, or it's not for me. And then, and you know, when like that's your thought, and then when you actually watch it and the spirit tells you otherwise, you're like, that came from the spirit. Like I just, my heart like swelled up as I watched the video thinking, this is good. This is good. And I don't know, I'm just excited. It's hard to put into words, but I'm just, cause I don't even know how it's going to look really in our home, or in, it's going to look different in everybody's homes and how they're going to use it. But just, it's so exciting that it's going to, like, I guess you guys haven't watched the video, so I should probably tell you more about why it's so exciting. But just that there's going to be, they've gathered these inspiring teachers and mentors to teach art and music and cultural things, and to send those videos. They're going to pre-record them, send them to you in your home. It's a little subscription, and you'll have this like all coming into your home. So you have kind of like a little guide every week of just things to learn, and cooking classes and things for moms, and it's just going to be so exciting. So yeah. I'm excited.
I was taking screenshots all through the video because I just wanted to remember, you know, some of the very specific things. And I love it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's very supporting of what we're trying to do with our families, and for families who are just getting started in the Well-Educated Heart and that philosophy of education, the pattern for learning using the arts. It'll be such a blessing. Such a blessing, give you that foundation, and then allow you to be able to fly, you know, to go with it however you will, but you'll have that kind of a secure place. So I'm excited about it. I can hardly wait. And it's something I want to tell a lot of my friends about, because you don't have to know about the Well-Educated Heart to watch the video and then decide if you feel something and you feel like there's something there for my family. And then you can start along that journey if you feel that. So I love that. Yeah, Lindsay, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that. That it's like a foundation. Like even if you have no knowledge of Well-Educated Heart, it's like this basic, like, here are the arts, and this is just a fun way to learn. But it's also, so it's like a good intro to Well-Educated Heart, but it's also for those who've done it for 7-8 years, and they're like, it's just kind of sparks that love again for all these fun things that we've gone through over and over again, and you get to do it with somebody new in a different way and learn something new about it. Like, that's what makes the rotation so magical, is you come back to it every year and there's always something new, and this is just going to be another layer no matter where you are on this journey. So I just think it's so fun.
I love it. I love it so much. And I love, on one part of it, she has this lovely little painting, and it's, oh, can I show it without a glare? And it's this little train that's just kind of meandering through a valley. And she talks about that's what we're doing. We're on this journey and we're just wandering along on this train, and we stop at little stations of inspiration. Oh man, sorry. Oh, perfect. We can share it now on our social media. I just got a message from Marlene. I was worried. I didn't know if we could share it, but she said, yep, you can share it. So you stop at stations of inspiration, you know, along the way, and that every year you're going to take this journey again and stop, you know, back by, and maybe you stop at different places each time, or maybe you stop at some of the same familiar places and add a little bit more. It's what those who have done the rotation know, but others who haven't experienced it, they don't understand perhaps that concept, and a lot of others, this idea that there's beauty everywhere, and we just need to open our hearts and be able to find it. The program is so focused on helping you and your children form habits of attention. She goes through, she made an acronym for the word arts. Arts, I'm sorry. And the first one is form habits of attention. So the A for art is attention. For R, it's build relationships and connections. For T, it's gathering treasures into the heart. and S is strengthening home and family. That's the purpose of the whole thing, which is beautiful and such a support to families. Anyway, there's just so many good things there, and so many wonderful, rich teachers that will be there to present those little mini classes, just to kind of give you an idea of what this could look like to teach and learn about music and about art and about cooking and about just creating things and nature. Anyway, just so good. Lindsay, could you send 7, put in the chat the link to the video when you have a sec? Anyway, it's beautiful and it's exciting. It's a way for families to get together. Another big, huge part of it is that she wanted a place for families, and very specifically for the teenagers to be able to get together safely in a safe environment and be able to make connections, have friends, talk about the things that they're learning, share their experiences, and hopefully be able to get together in person if it works for some of the families. So that's exciting too. It's just really creating a community. So anyway, I'll figure it out and I'll put that on my own social media. You ladies can do that also. If you feel like you have family, extended family, or friends in other places, or friends and family around you that would be interested, then share that with them as well. And registration will start in June, I think. So it will be on Mighty Networks. There's a group on there that is Bell at Home. So yeah, you'll join that group. So it's super handy because you just switch from Mothers of Influence group to that group to Well Educated Heart Academy if you have any children that are in that group. So it works out really well. Anyway, if anybody has questions, you can ask them, but otherwise just watch the video so that you get ideas there. You get a lot of your questions answered, and then there'll be a lot more coming that'll give you more details in the next, it'll come real fast in the next few weeks. So, okay. Anybody have any comments or questions about this month's material? Have you looked at these things, or these things you've been into? These I think are my favorites every month, are my Book of Delights and then books in the nature series. I just love those. It's just so much fun to be into those stories and experiences.
Hey, I'll share. So is that okay? Can you hear me? So I was able to borrow some Book of Delights from Trust and Neil, who has actually did the notebooking thing. We used to live in the same state. And so she has the hard copies. I don't have the hard copies yet, but I was able to borrow I borrowed the book 1 and book 2, Book of Delights, and then book 9, because it's the 9th month, but I'm planning to buy them. But it's just been fun having the physical copies to look at. And it was fun. I was up at my parents' house and I took them up there and I was able to share some with them. And also we were up there on Monday, and was it Monday? I think it was Monday. There was my parents have a lot of dead trees, and there was this brand new woodpecker hole in one of their trees. And so I stuck a phone in to try to get a picture. And then like 5 seconds later, this bird flew out. I was like, oh, I didn't know there's someone living in there right now. And so my dad was able to use a mirror and a flashlight to see there was 5 eggs in there. And then I had my Kindle Fire with me that I have like a lot of the books downloaded to, and I was able to open up the bird book because we read a lot of them back in March, I believe. And I was able to, I'm like, there was a picture of the woodpecker house or what it looks like inside in there. And so I opened that up and showed it to my mom and dad. So look, that's how deep it is. Because there was a lot of wood shavings on the ground. That's how my dad found it. He's like, what are all these wood shavings from? And it was amazing how much wood they'd gotten out of that tree.
I forgot I was muted. That is so cool. I didn't know to look for shaving. We have a woodpecker, but not with a hole, not that has made a hole in the tree, just that, I mean, makes a whole bunch of little holes, right? Getting the bugs and stuff, I guess. But that is really cool. That's very fun. And I love taking those books places too and sharing them with people and just seeing their response because they are so beautiful. There's so many good things in there. Oh. So thanks for sharing that, Mary. Okay, anybody else? Anything that's on your mind? I'm answering a question for my husband. Come on. What have you been thinking about? What's on your mind, or what have you read, or have you done none of that? And are you noticing a difference, or what's going on? I have so many things I would share if you guys were just sitting here so that I could, let you like have the books and do the things. This is my favorite right now. This, I keep saying, I've been wanting to share all about it and write all about it. This is the man, Hubert Eaton, that started the Forest Lawn Memorial Park. He's an amazing, incredible man. How many of you have read about the history about Orison Swett Marden? Have you read some of that, listened to the stories about him or his life in Belmont or anything like that? Are you saying no? I'm getting mostly no's. I'm getting no's. Okay. His story is so inspiring. I was listening to it at one point on Belmont, and I'll have to find out. I'll write it down here so I'll remember to do that, to send it to you. But I started listening to it while I was out in the garden working, and I couldn't stop listening to it. It was so incredible. The story starts out with him as a 6-year-old boy having to go run an errand for his parents, who were not warm and fuzzy by anybody's definition. They're far from that. But a 6-year-old boy has to go through this forest this woods that actually was very dangerous to go through, and then go up this mountain and deliver something or pick up something and bring it back. I can't remember the exact situation, but it was just, I got sucked into the story right away just by my concern for this sweet little boy and his feelings and what was going on with him. Anyway, and then you go through, and it goes through his entire life and talks about the things that happened to him over the years, the different experiences he had and his responses to it. And I think that we grow so much from just becoming friends with another person, and walking a little bit with them for a while and learning about their journey and just learning those life lessons. Oh, I just love that. And so Hubert Eaton is a similar kind of guy. He's determined to do the right thing, and nothing stops him. The roadblocks that he was met with are incredible, and most people would have given up. They would have just turned around and said, okay, obviously this isn't supposed to happen. But he had kind of like a little vision, kind of an impression of something he needed to do, and it was his life's work, and he did it. He made it happen, and it's such an incredible story. And then the fruits of that are still such a blessing to people today. So I don't know, I've shared a little bit with you about our visit to Forest Lawn. I probably do need to do a Zoom meeting, invite you ladies to it, and just let Lindsay and I tell you about our experiences there. But I don't know. Maybe there are things to share today. I'm not sure. I don't know where we're supposed to go today. I felt very much unsure about that. Yeah, Lindsay.
I just love, like how one thing can lead to another. And so when we went to Forest Lawn, there were some beautiful quotes, and I can't remember them right now, on the wall by Calvin Coolidge. And so then I was like, I don't know anything about Calvin Coolidge. I was like, I didn't even realize, I'm embarrassed of it. I didn't even realize he was a president. I'm like, who's Calvin Coolidge? I've heard the name, like, who is he? So then I checked out that book about Hubert Eaton from the library, and then a couple books about Calvin Coolidge. Because I'm like, any man who quotes something so beautiful like this, like, I want to know more about him.
Mhm.
So I've been I just real briefly like diving into Calvin Coolidge, but I had to return all my books, and they were like I checked them out like 3 times, renewed them 3 times. I'm like, okay, I got to return them. But he was like a widely misunderstood president, and just beautiful. And the more I kept reading about him, I just was so fascinated by him as a person and how good he was. Yet like there's not a lot that we don't talk about him very much. So anyway, it just made me realize there's so many people, and that's what Marlene has been gathering for us, are all these people who just were beautiful souls, and we haven't gotten to know them yet. So it's just kind of fun.
Oh, I love that.
Wednesday
And they're
nights,
normal people. You know, a lot of them
Yeah.
were just normal people that did some good things, had some hard experiences, whatever, just but their life experiences changed them or made them who they are, or I don't know. It helps me either learn how to deal with hard things or be motivated to keep on at something, you know, to be more determined, or it's inspiring. And I love feeling like I'm making these new friends, you know. I found the quote. Do you want me to share the quote? The Calvin Coolidge one that we
Yes.
loved.
Yes.
Okay. So this was just etched in the wall in the mausoleum. And we had gone past it a couple times. And then as we were standing at the top of the stairs after coming up from the Poets' Quarter, which is absolutely incredible, we were standing there talking and sharing thoughts. And then we noticed that there were quotes and poetry etched into the walls around us. So this is the one from Calvin Coolidge. He says, "If we could surround ourselves with forms of beauty, the evil things of life would tend to disappear, and our moral standards would be raised. Through our contact with the beautiful, we see more of the truth and are brought into closer contact with the infinite." It's so beautiful. I just loved that. I still, you know, you guys are just gonna have to talk. I'm just gonna sit here and go through my pictures. Just kidding. From that day. But here's one from Browning. And I don't know, when it says just Browning, is that Robert Browning or is that Elizabeth Barrett Browning? Does anybody know poets enough to know offhand? So I don't know. So one of the Brownings. "Tomorrow in a radiant land, we shall wake and remember and understand." Isn't that a lovely thing to be put in a mausoleum? It's so pretty. Anyway, if any of you come out to California, those who don't live here or those who live here, if any of you want to meet me at Forest Lawn or take a field trip down to Forest Lawn, I will go anytime anyone wants to go. I love that place. So I've been there 3 times now since the middle of February. And I can't get enough. There are just so many beautiful things there that have taught me lessons. There's on the front of the mausoleum, this is the picture of it right here. This is the arch above the doorway into the mausoleum. And it's very ornate. It's really beautiful. I didn't think there were buildings like that in California. I mean, I didn't. What do I know, though? We build to perpetuate the memory of our loved ones. And in the belief that life is eternal, we build forever. Is that nice? There's this beautiful statue of Christ. Oh, I've got a glare. I'm so sorry. Of Christ and the children there. And it's just so pretty and peaceful. And over that statue is an olive tree. It just grows right over it, which it seems very appropriate. Anyway, it's just lovely. And there are people who, I mean, this man was meant to build this place. It was something that he was directed by Heavenly Father to build. And it's just incredible. This was our favorite thing. This is where we stopped. The first thing we saw when we got there. Oh, you can't tell. You can't see. I'm so sorry. It's just, we just have to have another meeting where I can share screen and show you all these pictures. I know we talked about it once before, some, didn't we, Lindsay? A little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you could go on and on about it. Everyone just needs to go there and then you'll just experience it for yourself. It's one of those things it just doesn't have the full effect till you're just there,
No.
like most things. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
for-
Yeah, Michelle.
Is this the one in Bakersfield or down in LA?
Down in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, Griffith Park area. Pasadena? No, not Pasadena. Glendale.
Glendale. Because there's more than one location, but this was the Glendale one, and this is the big one. I think they're all beautiful, but this one has the most things. I think it was the original one. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how it'll work.
the first one.
Yeah.
It's incredible. How did I not know this? And then I'm talking to my parents about it, and they went there on one of their dates, when they were first dating. Like, well, why didn't you take me? But
Yeah. I know I was telling my in-laws too, and they're like, oh yeah, we used to live down there, and like we've been there a couple times, and they're like, I think we went to a funeral there once. Yeah, no big deal. Eyes to see, right?
yeah, exactly. And okay, that's something too that I just have been thinking about so much lately, is what happens to us when we really try. We don't have to do a lot, but we try. We do that thing of taking just a few minutes a day and enjoying some beautiful music or art and storytelling, poetry, getting outside and paying attention, to what you're seeing. I am really, I don't know, I probably shouldn't be, but I am so surprised, and it's such a beautiful, fun surprise that it makes such a big difference, that it changes people. There's a woman who messaged me while I was in Idaho. So that's just in this past month and a half. And my cute little son, who I told you is on a mission for our church, but also for the Well-Educated Heart, because when he finds women who seem open, he'll share with them about the Well-Educated Heart, and then he'll give them my number and tell them that they should message me. So this is one of the women who has, and she is finishing up section 6 on Catch the Vision. She is just full of fire. She's so happy. She said, I cannot believe how much this has changed my heart and is changing my everyday. And I love watching that happen. I love seeing that transformation that comes. And we all need that. As women, we need that. That's what helps us to be more of who we are inside. It helps us have access to that more. And it doesn't mean that it's all sunshine and rainbows, but it means that we can feel, and we maybe even process, some things that we need to process, and we work through some stuff, and we begin to grow and move forward, and then we're able to be a much better tool, I guess, for Heavenly Father in the lives of those around us. And I think that is what is going to be desperately needed. Well, I think it's desperately needed now. But before we go on, Melanie, did you have something to say earlier? Did you move your hand like you were going to share? Okay, I just didn't want to miss that if you had. Okay. Yeah, Michelle, were you going to share some more?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was still on.
No, it was very quiet, so it wasn't. No. Oh, I want one of those swings. You guys, if you have one of those big platform swing things, do you love them? I want one so badly for me. I just want to go sit. Yes.
We had one and it wasn't enough. Like 4 or 6, because we all want to swing at the same time. But okay, let me flip that around.
Because I can see Michelle's.
That's her.
Yeah.
Loves to swing.
There's
That's
one
her
there.
thing.
Oh, so you've got 2 in your big tree now.
We have 2 in our big one now. My
Oh, no.
kids, like, they're not out here right now. But there he goes. He's like, oh, I forgot. I gotta go there. But they will sit out here with blankets and like cover it. And they just like Sarah, my 14-year-old, who I don't know, she kind of just hides out in her room most of the day. She has been out here for hours a day. It has been the coolest thing. So I had my husband go pick up a second one. Oh, you want them to keep watching? Anyway.
Oh, I love it. And Michelle, so you said that's where Audrey comes and hangs out?
Yeah, and she does the same thing. She'll bring blankets out and pillows and she's even made a tent out of it.
I love it. That's what I would do, is I'd be out there with books and just hanging out. I love it. I just think they look so much fun. And I have the excuse I can say that I'm getting it for my grandchildren. But in reality, it'll be for me. I mean, I'll share, but oh, that makes me happy seeing both of those, seeing those in your yards. Oh, Sarah made a tent on it too. Well, what is it about a tent? I love to make tents. I did it with my kids all the time. What is it about a tent? Michelle, were you gonna say something?
No, I'm on my phone, so I'm trying to like not put my hands in front of the screen.
Oh, no, I know. I'm forever doing that if I'm on a phone. I can't keep my hands away from the camera. Like, how do I not know that there's a camera right there? But I don't. Anyway, but making tents. I would make tents all the time for my kids too when they were little. We would make tents and then pile all the books in there and then climb in and read books and have snacks and stuff. But there's something magical about building a tent. Somewhere, I've got to go find it actually. My mother-in-law had a book that was something like a home for me. A tent is a home. I don't know. It was something, but it was a little kid's book. And I think it had something like that. Like it was creating a little space for you. It was like, as a child, it's your own little, you could pretend like it's your own little home. I don't know, but there's something magical about it. I just love it. Oh, what things do you find yourself doing that are childlike? I think another thing is it's so important to let yourself do the things that are fun, that you might think, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm too old for that or something. Yeah, Cadence.
Well, yesterday, we've been having some hot weather, so I pulled out the splash pad and the kids have the little slide, and so they slide down into the splash pad. It's really fun. So I put on my swimsuit and I ran out and like, watch out, guys. And I'm taking like one butt cheek down the slide because I cannot fit on that thing. It hurt and I knew it would, but I was like, it's okay, the kids will laugh. But stuff like that I don't always do, but sometimes when I do, when I have the time, or when I make the time, it's fun. I wasn't out there very long, but
And it usually doesn't have to be very long, but just the fact that you joined in.
yeah,
It's so much fun for them. I love that. So we have a giant slip and slide, giant. And when I was a girl, my slip and slide was about my favorite thing. And I lived in Tehachapi, where Michelle is, when I was a little girl, and we had the slip and slide in our backyard. And like if there was sunshine outside, I thought it was warm enough, to be on the slip and slide. My mom would usually make me wait till it was actually, I wouldn't get sick or something from being out there, but we would put that thing up and I would just run down it so many times. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And it was the banana yellow ones that had the little strips along the sides of it with little holes all made into them, so it kind of kept water on the slide the whole time. But it was kind of like a tunnel of water you would slide through, and that just was so cool to me. Anyway, but then we got a hold of my husband and I, when our kids were little, of a giant vinyl billboard. It had come down and that wasn't going to be used anymore, or maybe it had an error on it. I can't remember, but it was not needed anymore. And this thing is massive. So once all the kids got old enough, I mean, we've had it forever and ever, and we'll bring it out when people come visit, cousins visit and things, but you can go 6 big people wide, at a time on this thing. And so you just have to have it wet enough. You just have to have enough water. So you get a couple hoses on it And then you're just like, my big kids would go running and then just, all the way down. And then it's long enough, because the hard part about it, once you get big, is you run out of slide, slip and slide way before you run out of motion, so you're end up on the grass sliding for a while. But anyway, not on this thing. And it is so much fun. But even my kids, when they were bigger, if I'd get out and go on it, everybody was like cheering and so excited because mom was out there. Like, I don't know if it's because then they can make fun of me later. I'm not sure, but but it was a blast just to go do fun things. I don't know. I loved it. It's fun to do that. I mean, as a mom, you got stuff to do and everything, but if one of the things I could share with you is make the time, just take a few minutes here and there. Yeah, Cadence.
Another thing I wanted to share was this basket has made my life so happy because I have not been using my plastic baskets. Well, I still use them, but for laundry, I have been like, once I get something folded, I've been throwing it in here, and it's just making my life seem so magical and like I live in a cottage or something. It's so dumb, but it's so fun. It's just these little tiny details that are like, oh, I'm carrying this basket up the stairs. When normally I'm like, I don't want to carry this basket of clothes up the stairs again. But this is making it magical. So I wanted to share.
Okay, I love that. And that is 100% up my alley, Cadence, because there is something about when things are organic, it's like another connection. It's like connecting us to the earth and to the things that are natural. And that kind of harken back to a previous time when we were so much more connected to our homes and the things that happen there. And I don't know. I love that. I would be the same. There's a thing on YouTube I watch, and it's the cottage. I can never remember. Why do I start? I should know. I'm not going to know the end of my sentence. So what's the point in starting it? Oh, it's like the cottage fairy, or I don't know, but it's this girl and she's lived in this cottage somewhere for a long time. She finally just recently got married, but she has this simple life and she has a wood burning stove and she goes and collects things out in the forest and brings them in, and, and just all this natural stuff. And it's this simple life. She doesn't have very many things, and it just sounds heavenly. But I love that you could bring a little bit of magic into your life, a little bit of something that even for you as an adult changes something from a drudgery kind of a thing into something magical. And now you're being the lovely, mother in your home with your wicker basket and doing all the lovely mothering things. So I love it. That's fun.
Laura, I have one.
Yes, hi, Seven.
Yeah, something I enjoyed doing when I was a kid was picking out rocks, like pretty rocks from a huge pile of rocks kind of thing. So I was walking around with my kids, and we found it's like a whole street. They just in front of every house, there's like a huge patch of rocks. So we basically stayed there and just played for like hours. It was super fun. And the other day we went to the Tulip Festival, and my daughter was like, look, Mom, there's like for the gift shop, they have basically you can pick a bag of rocks. And I actually digged out some pretty ones from that. It's just something fun that I enjoy that my kids did, that we did together. That was fun.
Yeah, that's so great. Sometimes it's just stopping. Just slow down, like we've talked about that. Just slow down for a little bit and make time for some of those little things. I love that. I saw a thing on Instagram. I have a little thing with Instagram. I love to look up creative things on Instagram. I think that's so much fun. I love to see what people all over the world are doing. But this was just a little simple thing. It was a little thing for kids where you drew a picture of a lion and made holes all around his head, just poked little holes around his head. And then you go out and collect dandelions and you stick them in the holes. And so then he has this little dandelion mane. It was the cutest thing. And I thought, I could, I'd have to convince my husband, okay, don't mow that part right there or something. I don't think I could. Maybe out in the outback, maybe I could find enough out there. But it just was kind of a magical, cute little thing to see this cute little lion face with the dandelions. Or like if you go out and there are clover and make the clover chain, you know, or the little date. It's so much easier with daisies, right? Because there's enough of a stem. I was doing it the other day with clover, and I was thinking, why is this so hard? I don't remember it being so hard. And then I realized, oh, I used to do it with daisies. So they actually have a stem that's big enough to, you know, make a little slice. You know what I mean? Where you take the stem and make a little slice and you thread a stem of another flower through that little hole, and then you just keep adding and it makes a chain. I love those. I still love those. I think those are magical. When I was a girl and went to school, because I went to public school, you know, we would sit on the grass out in the playground collecting flowers, picking little clover flowers and things. And as I'm sure would be a shock to you, but you know, I would be like the leader of the group, you know, and I would tell everyone what songs we were going to sing today. And they were the songs that I had, you know, was listening to on the radio, you know, on Cafe radio station or whatever. And we would sing Billy, Don't Be a Hero, and all these stupid songs that were popular when I was a girl. And I would lead them all in the songs, and we would sing songs and make these little daisy necklaces and stuff. Anyway, it was, I'm sure, a lovely experience for all those young ladies. I'm just kidding. But it was super fun for me. Anyway, it's just funny what little things can become magical, you know, and that you can just take a moment and enjoy them. Okay, so Cadence, you said the daisies on the side of the road are starting to bloom. Wait, I lost it. It was up there. And it's funny how excited I am about that. No, it's so good. That's so good that you get excited about those things. Oh, and it's just beautiful to see. Even just, don't you get excited when the trees leaf out, you know, or when they're blossoming, just the different stages that are happening in nature, or being able to have the windows open and hearing birds. I love hearing birds. I love that now I can recognize some of the different birds. I know which birds are making which sounds, you know. And there's only a couple of them that I know, but I know a couple. And I was somewhere and I said something about what kind of bird it was, and the ladies are with me were like totally impressed. I'm like, I think I know 3 birds. Like, really, it's nothing to be impressed about, but it was kind of fun still. Okay, we had the windows open all night. I love that. Yeah, that's so good. Well, that's because you live in a beautiful place, Cadence. Oh my goodness, she's up in Puget Sound. Oh, someday.
It's not raining right now. It's been really warm, and so we can have the windows open and the rain won't come in. It's a big deal. And tonight's the fathers and sons camp out, so I'm getting food ready for my youngest son will be here. It's his first time going. So the weather's gonna be good. It's not gonna rain for their camp out.
That's exciting. Oh, that's exciting. That's such a fun adventure to have the boys get to go with their dads, and then have girls get to have girls' night. Do you do that?
Oh yeah, we're going to do, while they're gone, we're gonna have a girls' night. So
yeah, that's what we always did.
But my daughter's throwing up today, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I'm
She's
so
doing a little bit better.
sorry. Tell her I'm sorry. Darn it.
It's one of those things where I'm sad she has to be sick, but she's home from school, so
Yeah, right.
we try to squeeze in all the
Goodness. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, Melissa, we'd love to hear about that. So Melissa's saying, I loved all the plants and animals in Hawaii. Then we came home. We had to drive through fields of snow. Oh my goodness, what a contrast. I don't know if you ladies have seen, but on the Teach Our Own Hearts, Marco Polo, Melissa shared a few videos of just some cool things that they were seeing while they were in Hawaii. So that's kind of fun to catch up on that. Melanie, you asked a question. You want to, wait, did you ask the question? Hold on. Yes. What do you guys do for girls' night? So did you have more specific?
I was just thinking, when the boys and the family are out camping, what do you guys do? Because my girls always think we have to put on nail polish, and I'm a little tired of just doing nail polish. So
We need some fresh ideas.
Well, I don't really know. We haven't done this very much. It's usually we just watch a movie, but I'm hoping to branch off from movies and maybe paint a room tonight. Paint a bedroom while they're not there. So I don't know. I don't have any good ideas for that.
No, I want to hear. I want to hear other ideas too. But even I think painting a room is fun because that's, I mean, doing decorating stuff. If the girls think it's fun, right? And then Melissa, crafts, cooking, bowling, stargazing. Oh yeah. Of course, Melissa has good ideas. I love it. Michelle.
I was gonna say it's been a while because my son is 21 now, but it's been a while since he and my husband went on a father-son camp out. And I remember my daughters and we made homemade strawberry jelly together, and then we planted some rose bushes, and we went to the fabric store. That's
Yes.
what we
No, I love it. Those are all good things. I know that we've done things, we've cooked some special things, done something special, kind of out of the ordinary in the kitchen, or let them choose the meal and then made it together. I don't, and we then now in the later years we resorted to the movie watching, but because we could watch whatever we wanted without the boys there, without them coming through and making fun of British accents and things like that. Of course, my boys all have learned to appreciate those movies too, because I made them sit down. These are not just girl movies. Sit down and watch the movie. Your wife is going to appreciate it. You're going to be a much better husband if you can appreciate these movies. And if you know these characters, oh my goodness, are you going to get the girl? Because she's going to be so impressed. So I haven't convinced my husband yet, but at least I got my boys. Oh, I love girls' night though. I love that. I think it's so much fun. Like the few times that like the father-son camp out got like rained out, or I mean, it wasn't usually rain for us, but whatever, reasons that it got canceled. I was so bummed because I was really looking forward to that. And we did do the toenails, we do the soak our feet and do all that stuff and do the nail, everything. We did that sometimes too. Oh, I don't know what else we did. Anybody else have other ideas to add to that list? You guys came up with a lot of good things. I love crafts, cooking, bowling, and bowling. That's fun and different. Stargazing, I love. I remember going out with my girls and doing that. We have a book that is a glow in the dark, so you just find the different, whatever season of the year you're in, whatever month, and whichever hemisphere you're in, and then you can have a red light out there, or you can have it under light inside and then take it outside and you can see the constellations you're supposed to be able to see that night. So that's kind of fun. I do love that. Well, there you go, Melanie. Got some good ideas of different things to do with your girls. Oh, and I think it's really lovely to do things with them that are either homemaking things, a nod to those things that you're hoping that they have an interest in because it will bless their family, or hobby things that you enjoy or others enjoy in your family that might be fun, or to try a new hobby. Okay, what is Emily saying? Emily, are you not able to come on? Oh, that's cute. Emily says, we had a wonderful girls' mom night a couple weeks ago. We watched the older Pollyanna, a bunch of moms giggling and enjoying a movie without littles. Oh, that's cute. That's really fun. I went to just Wednesday night, I was invited to a movie night with some girls, and it was my friend who's in her 70s, the other one whose 88th birthday was that day, another one in her 70s, and then one of their daughters whose movie idea it was, and I'm not even going to tell you what movie it was, but it was definitely a girls movie, but like, not a mixed company movie, and that probably not my favorite, but it was still fun to go do that. I don't know, like, for example, it would be something along the lines of Legally Blonde or Austenland, where it's like not a great movie necessarily, but it's just, there's so many girl things in it that you can appreciate, and so it's just kind of one of those. Anyway, but it was just fun to be with friends and be sharing something together. Although I will share a really good adult, like a mom movie. Have you guys ever seen The Enchanted April? You ever heard of that movie or seen that movie? I don't know why I'm the only person on this planet who has seen that movie, but it's a good movie. I promise it's good. The book's really good and the movie's good. I like it. And then my risque movie that I recommend all the time is Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. Have you seen that one? I love that movie. Okay, now I'm getting excited. I'm going to need a movie night. Okay, sorry, this conversation's been all about me. What movies do I want to do? What activities do I think are fun? How to act like a little kid? Tree houses. Add that to the list. That's probably my very most favorite thing to do is climb up in a tree and hang out. Yeah, Lindsay.
I've had a question just lingering this whole time, but I'm like, I've had that language arts book, The Mother's University, just thinking about writing, and that's just been on my mind. And I was just gonna ask you guys, like, is there stuff that you guys are writing, or do you guys just like, that's intimidating to you? I was just curious what your guys' experiences have been recently with writing, anything, poems, journal writing, thoughts on paper, notebooking. I don't know, I'm just curious. I know we're pretty much out of time, but
Okay, so really you made them listen to me and all that chatter when you actually had a real question to ask? All right, Missy. Next time I'm going to put you on the spot. All right, we're just going to sit and wait until you ask your question. That's
well,
such a good question.
I kind of assumed, but I'm sure you guys are way better than me. I just thought we're all gonna go, yeah, nope, got nothing. So I was like, I don't know. I don't want to make anyone feel bad that they're also like me and kind of just lacking in that area.
No,
But
well, maybe somebody's writing. Melanie.
that's what I wanted to know. Like, who's writing?
So I don't generally write a lot. I do have the Gold Flex journal that I try to keep updated every day, or close to every day of, something good that day. But I remember when I was in college and I was good about writing in my journal. And at that time I typed my journal and I could type about as fast as I could think. And so my journal entries were a little bit more stream of consciousness. And it really helped me process through things that I was thinking about, like just giving me that time to sit and think. Allowed me to take the things I was kind of mulling over in the back of my mind and actually figure stuff out and get insights. And so I've been thinking I want to do that more often. And I just don't, it's harder for me to find time when I'm at the computer and it's quiet enough that I can just kind of think for myself to do that. But when I have taken the time recently, like a week or so ago, I had things on my heart that I was like, I need to process this a little bit more deeply. And so I just kind of wrote out my questions and my thoughts and just allowing that time to flow. I don't know, it just helped get insights that I needed that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah, I like that. And that's what's kind of stirred it in me a little bit lately, is that idea of just like working through our thoughts on paper. So there's been a couple nights where I like, you guys know how it is. You can't go to sleep because you have like every thought in the world coming into your brain. So I'm like, I have to just get it all out so that it's not in there anymore. So I've gotten up like in the middle of the night to just come out to my laptop and just type it all out. And like, I'll type like 4 pages. I'm like, no wonder I couldn't sleep. And then it feels so good. And then anyway, and it helps me like process a lot of things, see which things are important, which things aren't important. Just kind of fun. But then just a little bit of notebooking here and there, which is fun to like, you really have to think about things before you write it. Like, what do I really want to remember about this person I just read? Like, what's like a really good gem out of all the things I just read? what do I want to put on paper? So I don't know. I've just been thinking about it.
So I think that's really interesting. Go ahead, Melanie, say what you're going to say and then I'll.
Yeah, there's one other thing I was thinking maybe sharing today, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. But anyway, it's related, so I'll share it. So I've had a favorite author for like the last 20 years or so that has written like 40 books, and they're usually book series of 3 books here and 3 books there and 5 books there. And a lot of his book series are they take place in different fantasy worlds, but there's like something related or connected, and like terms that he uses are common between different worlds or similar concepts. And so I finally I'd go back and reread one of the series I had already read and discover new insights. And there's a lot of like religious undertones in it that I think is really cool. I've made a lot of connections and stuff, but rereading some of the series, I realized that there's more connections to the other series I already read than I realized. And oh, I forgot this thing. Anyway, so I finally decided to create notebook just for his books to kind of figure out, all the things that I would have forgotten and try to make those connections between the book series. And anyway, so that's been fun and interesting to start. And as I've been trying to just plan out so far what pages I'm going to have, what things I want to remember, and write notes as I come to them in the books. My daughter came up to me. So my daughter is almost 9, and I feel like she's still on the young side of reading them, but my sons love the books. But I've been like wanting to read to her and just kind of trying to patiently wait for her to be old enough to read them to her. And wondering every once in a while, can I try to start reading them to her? Anyways, so I've been like offering off and on for months to read them to her, and she's just kind of like, that's like my mom's and my brother's thing, and I don't know that I want to do that. I think that's kind of been her thought process. But she saw me getting out the journals and like titling the pages for the different sections that I want to track, and she just decided that she wants to read it. So she's read like 5 chapters since last night. Like, okay, I guess it just took me getting out the journals for her to see, oh, there's something interesting here, Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.
I think that's really cool that she saw that there was something of interest enough for you to be collecting these journals about it. And so that made it interesting to her. I wonder if that's part of the magic of notebooking, is them just seeing you finding enough value in something that you want to record it. And I love the 2 different types of writing that you ladies have talked about here, which is just the stream of consciousness writing, just getting it all out there and all of the good things that happen as a result of that. Because I think, well, we've talked about that here, that, and I'm seeing from this discussion, I'm supposed to do that. I keep thinking I need to get out a new notebook and just write in it. And I just haven't wanted to do that. But we've talked about how once you get a thing on paper, you can actually kind of evaluate it for truth and error. And it's a little bit more easy to do that than when it's up here. And then the other type of writing being the being judicious, and picking out those gems, picking out those good things, or looking for patterns or something like that. I love that. And I believe we will be blessed for both of those types of activities. I'm sure there are other things as well, but I love that. And I love the questions asked and answered. Thank you, ladies. Other thoughts on that, on the writing? Were inspiring. Okay, now I know next time I have to pull this stuff out of you guys so you don't have to listen to me the whole time. Emily, I've been working on our family photo books, and it's been fun to do the journaling. I'm losing the journaling of what is happening in the photos. Our family has enjoyed remembering together. I love that. And Emily, that's I had forgotten about that, but that's the project where you are going through photos together as a family, right? You have like a video call or something, a shared family call, and are going through these. which would be so helpful because then you've got your other kids to be helping with the details of what the backstories were in those pictures. I hope I'm remembering that right. I think I am. Hopefully I am, but I love that. I think that would be such a fun activity to keep your family together after everyone's gone on to their own, places, having their own experiences. So, and you ladies are sweet to put those thoughts and comments in the chat when you can't come on screen. I appreciate that. It keeps us all connected here, which is such a good thing. Okay, so I talked in the very beginning to Lindsay about the idea of gathering people together. So wherever you are, if there are women on the Mighty Network that are within an hour or so of you, consider throwing that out there, an invitation. Just if you're already going to do something, or there's a place you've thought about going and it's not an expensive kind of an outing, but just throwing out there, hey, I'm going to go to this place. I'd love it if any of you want to meet us there. Just bring a lunch, something to where you might be able to connect with other mothers that are somewhere around where you are. I think there's a lot of good in that. And I do believe we're going to need each other's strength and that kind of support. So if you start it now, then that will be in place for those times when you need it more or when your kids need it. But I just did that the other day, just threw out to the California people, just saying, hey, let's see if we can start making this happen. So we'll see. And in just kind of natural ways, nothing that you're going to have to go crazy trying to make happen, but just something that's within the flow of your family's activities. Okay. Any parting thoughts? Oh, thank you. That's nice of you. So someone asked Melanie about who the author was, what the series is. So that's in the chats. Jeff Wheeler. She recommends reading the series in the order they were published. So Legends of Merwood trilogy first. Their fantasy, medieval, clean romance, principles of integrity, etc. His King Fountain series is based on real history and King Arthur. I love King Arthur. There's an author, I'll just bring it up right now because I won't remember it. Since you mentioned King Arthur, there's an author who she will rewrite classic literature for young people. And she's got the Iliad and the Odyssey and King Arthur and I don't know what else. But her name is Rosemary Sutcliffe. And I have loved her books. She does a beautiful job of retelling those stories if your children aren't ready for the originals yet. I always prefer the originals, but sometimes they're just not there yet. And so she does a lovely retelling of those kinds of stories. So anyway, thank you, everybody. I'm sorry, sir. 7, were you going to share something?
What's the author of the name of the author you mentioned again? Rosemary
Sutcliffe, Sutcliff, and maybe E. I can't remember if there's an E on the end or not, but Rosemary Sutcliffe. And those are older books. Those are the ones the libraries throw away. They're just beautiful, wonderful. And every once in a while you have those librarians that save those books, or at least they put them in boxes for the homeschooling moms to come and go through because they know that that we appreciate those things. So anyway, thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank you for listening to my ramblings and adding your goodness and wisdom along the way. Appreciate that always. We will meet again on Friday. I will be helping my parents pack. They're moving out of state, so that's a big deal. Lots of stuff going on there. I know. Why? It's crazy.
Where are they moving?
St. George, Utah. So they'll be 2 minutes from my sister's house, which is lovely. And they won't have to keep making the 40-minute plus drive into Bakersfield for their appointments and things like that. That's a big, big reason for it. But my dad is having to give up. He's on the city council right now in Tehachapi, and he's on the board of the Train Depot Museum and loves that, and has done so much good for that Train Depot Museum. So that's real hard for him to give those things up. So I'm sad, but but I'm being helpful. So I'll be there all next week with 2 of my siblings, helping get them all packed up and ready to go. But we'll still have our meeting, maybe from there, I don't know, but maybe I'll do it from the train depot and you guys can see the train depot. Oh, I'm just sad because I was thinking, you know, I'm sure there going to be some day when you guys all come out, we all get together and we'll go there and we'll do all these things together. Really wasn't feasible, but still, I like to imagine things. So that's how I'm getting myself to start exercising. I imagine that I'm somebody else when I wake up in the morning. I'm somebody who actually exercises. And so it's actually, I've been able to trick myself for a little while now. So don't tell me that it's not true, because I'm experiencing a little bit of success. So yeah, imagination is a beautiful thing. We left that out in the month where we study imagination. That's another way you can use your imagination to bless your life. Anyway, well, have a wonderful weekend and a really good week, and I'll see you again next Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye everybody. See you next time.